good. Thanks for asking.
So far, I think we've pretty much... Well, I think our first episode that we didn't have one was Mad Kian because we didn't prepare enough at time.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, perfect. Well, okay, bring it back into masculinity. I'm gonna... So kind of going back off what we were just saying, the thoughts of like, okay, some like... in the way crying or something may look like, or showing emotions.
Yeah.
One of the things that like I feel like, okay, kind of God clearly almost just brings out and like calls that I don't think we don't. It's easy for guys to not really pay attention to, but in Galatians 5, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. And those who belong to Jesus Christ have crucified the flesh with his passions and desires. That just came to mind when I was thinking of masculinity. And it's like, no, God's not necessarily saying like, man, you needed to do this, but this is a call to everyone. Everybody that's in the spirit of Christ, who is following Christ, and who has a spirit. And I read that list off. That to me does not line up with the worldly view of masculinity. And so when the guy's like, even if there are Christian guys out there, I'm like, well, but like, I want to impress girls. God, I feel like in a way, girls' mindsets might be a little warped now because of what this world has, but ultimately, God created girls to desire this.
Yep.
And this is cool. These are cool guys who are joyful, who are at peace, who are confident in a way that they know what they think, they know where they stand, even spiritually, even just in life. So they're at peace where they're at. They're patient. That is a big thing. I've seen so many guys. It's like they may be a great guy, but like the lack of patience. I in certain areas I do struggle with that. But like I look at another guys and I'm just like, ugh. Like I don't. Like, Like when they don't have the time for it, like, it's just like, no, gotta get on the next thing. Like take the time to help the stranger on the street or whatever it is. But then also crucifying the flesh and the flesh that is so hard, but I think you're like that is such an important thing in masculinity is getting rid of those things that just take a guy down. And it may even be small, maybe just one of the things that is so easy for guys nowadays is like gaming. That's just an example, but like nothing's wrong with it. But at the same time, it's so easy to get entrapped with it. There's nothing wrong with gaming, but it's so easy to get entrapped with it. And it's so easy to be like, why are the guys sitting on the couch doing video games? We need that guy out on the streets playing God's word or helping the orphans or helping your brother that's struggling. Like it doesn't have to be these crazy macho things. It's just, that's a man. Not a man who's just sitting here just wasting his time on video games or whatever. But like, a true guy, you're going to have to get rid of those things that are of the flesh. But going clear back to actually pretty much, I think what Chris and I's first podcast is talking about idols. But not only, and I want to just reiterate, I think is important is focus on getting rid of those things, but also at the same time, replace it with something else. And that is becoming a man. But replace it with giant kindness, replace it with gentleness, loving. There's a place. It talks about it. God's wept. God was kind all the time. God was what this world would say is not a macho man, but he was. He was a perfect example of what Christian masculinity should look like. And he was all the time helping those that he did what like even his disciples are like, no, the children need to go away. But he's like, no, bring the children to me. Like I have time for them. But at the same time, there is a place to stand up and be that man. That's the beauty of being being a man. There is a place where God went to the temple and overturned the money changing table and stuff. There is a place where looks kind of exciting as a guy is like to step out there and like I get to physically protect my wife or I get to physically protect my kids from this. Like that's all part of masculinity. I don't know.
I was also thinking about back to the gaming scenario. How like a boy's world could be created and just say gaming, and like another thing is just pornography, and how he could just be so soaked into that to where it's like I think of like I just think of a warfare going on. It's just like all these other men are standing up for who they are, and there's all these younger boys that are coming up Well, it's like, we need you out there. We need the reinforcements.
Right.
We need you to stand up for who you are instead of being a nobody of yourself.
Yeah.
With soaking yourself in this stuff, in
Right.
that stuff. But I think of the phrase, it's like, if you feel meaningless, it's probably because you're doing meaningless stuff.
Right.
And
find something that God needs you. Find purpose.
Exactly. And if you want to find purpose, I mean, I'm speaking from experience, but just
Cade.
living, oh please, but just living who you're called to be, and setting that as a vision for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean, there's been a few times to where it's like, so for me, my number one fear is snakes. Hate them. Hate them. There was a scenario to where,
I don't think I knew this about you.
Okay, well, there's a scenario to where Caitlin and I were taking a walk, and we were just walking. There was this big old rattlesnake that came across. She wasn't too scared of it, but I just ran down the hill. And it's like, she stood up there, and when I was running, I was like, Cade, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'd rather that snake to bite me than her. But, in the moment, I was just like, okay, Cade, for real. So I had to walk back there. I mean, of course, a little gingerly, but
still a little.
But in a way, I was just like, I was frustrated at myself because that's not who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to protect her, and that's probably the first scenario, is like the physical protection. It's like another thing to where it's like, even for like predators.
Right.
And
yeah, you are needed, and that's something. Speaking of like, okay, following the desires of the flesh, what's so real in a guy's life is that pornography, but even there's so many things. It could be the thing of sports. It could be there are just multiple different things.
Right.
But I think it's easy for a guy kind of naturally. I know it's even something for me was easy to be like, to kind of have the mindset of like, well, who cares? I'm this guy that like, obviously God cares about, like, and that's important. That was a fight. That's like, I know God cares about it, but still like, but I think, okay, beyond the fact it's wrong, it clearly says so in the Bible. It's just knowledgeably wrong. There's even science facts to prove that like all these things are wrong. But even beyond that, even beyond the fact that like, beyond the fact that you know that it's wrong, it is wrong. Don't do it. Beyond that, we need a guy. Like, you're needed if ever more. So maybe, yes, you need to quit some of these things that are wrong, or maybe you need to spend less time watching sports or paying attention to sports or whatever it is. But beyond the fact that that's a time waster, you could be doing more profitable things. We need you out on the world. So stop doing that and replace it in like, if ever before, you're needed. And I feel like that gives a guy more purpose. It's like, not only are these, like, I know they're wrong, but it's hard just to quit. No, they're wrong. Now, get up, get off your seat, and go find something that gives you purpose. Whether that's investing in the younger generation, like,
just think of how the world could thrive by that.
Right. If all the guys,
if we knew, if we knew,
right, that you're needed.
Yep.
And I think that's what's so hard, especially even with broken families. They come from, it's like, you're kind of a worthless child, or like you're kind of, we're struggling financially.
Yes.
And so then that's so much harder for the kid too, because he's like, well, I'm not needed. My mom, parents don't like me. I'm like kind of an accident in the world. Like, what's like, no, even though you may have had a rough past, you maybe made some horrible decisions. God doesn't view them. They're all fixable. Like, God does not, God views you still as precious.
Yep.
And so if ever before, now's the time to like, you are needed. You're important. You're just as important as me, who's always grown up in a Christian family.
Yeah.
Like, I've made mistakes. I've regretted so many things in life. But like, God still needs me. And so it's like, yes, you're needed just as much as ever in this world. And if somehow, which gives me more of a passion, it's like, share it to others. It's like, if somehow all the guys could know that, I think now there'd be still others that would still just deny it all. But they would give a lot of motivation to a lot of guys to like get up off the seat, quit some of these addictions, and find purpose in life.
Yep.
Because I'm actually needed, even though I'm Joe Blow off the street who's had a horrible past.
Right.
Sorry, get passionate on something.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. I thought of another story for a boy that was needed. He was 6. I don't know if did you ever hear the story of Bridger in Montana? It was a few years ago, but him and his sister were walking the neighborhood where they lived, and I guess a dog ran from his chain and got loose, and went to attack his little sister. Well, he jumped in the way. He's 6, and saved her. Well, he had to go to the hospital. He had 88 stitches on his face. And in the hospital, his dad remembers him telling him, if there was anybody to die, I was willing to die.
At 6.
At 6. Because a little earlier in life, his parents had told him, you're the protector of her. And he had that vision and that he was going to do it. And I love that. I love that. At 6, you could do these things at 6.
Like, oh. Yeah, exactly.
And then here I am running down the mountain because I'm scared of a snake.
A snake, right.
Yeah.
Which is natural. Like, we're going to have areas.
Right.
We're not perfect. Mm-hmm. We're going to make mistakes. And I don't want to set it as this impossible goal to reach.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, I was in a relationship for a while and I broke up. Mm-hmm. And yes, it was hard, as much as ever, but like, I made mistakes. I did. I know I made mistakes. And that's what I'm saying. And we will. I'll continue to make mistakes. No, like I've learned so much from that. Yeah. I've changed so much in my life from that situation, which has been so good. Yeah. But it's not going to be that I'm going to still make mistakes. And Lord willing, eventually I'll be in another relationship. I'll still make mistakes there too. Like we're bound to. Like maybe you shouldn't have ran from the snake, but at the same time, like ultimately she didn't get hurt. And you're learning from it, like, okay, maybe next time you'll, as scared as you are, you might like, okay, I'm gonna make sure she's back out of the way first before, like we learn from those situations, but even in the slightest, like masculinity, like yes, we're needed in the big, but also we're just as much needed in the small.
Yep, I think of a scenario right off the bat. It's like we can go hang out with all of our buddies. And just have a great time and do whatever. And then it's like your wife, you know what? Can you just stay home? And like, it might not sound as fun just to stay there and chop lettuce and do whatever for a salad or whatever that evening. But like for her, that means a lot. Yeah. And that's maybe in this era. This is my man. This is him doing what he is. Just like, I guess, quality time for both of us. And it's like, they find it attractive to where he chose to be with me instead of with all his buddies. Yeah, it's still great to be with your buddies. Right. But it's just like...
Yeah. Yeah, I see it, like, it's a pretty common... It's pretty... And I know it's kind of pre-planned. It's kind of a joke. So, but I think he's even kind of coming from the worldly view of masculinity, but there is something to it, and I think there's a reason behind all this. But yeah, it's kind of exactly what you're saying. It's common right now, like in Instagram Reels and even YouTube Shorts and stuff out of like the guy will be on his phone with his buddy. He's like, "Yeah, I'll meet you here," or something, and kind of look over his wife, and he'll be like, "Wait, no, actually, I can't make it tonight. Nope, I have plans." And she gets all excited or whatever. And I know a lot of them are just a kind of pre-set up thing or whatever. Right. But it does mean something true, even in the smallest things. Or maybe you come home, you see your wife tired, and you did have plans to go golfing, or maybe you had plans just to go do something with your buddies, and you had previously talked about it. She's like, "Yeah, great, go do that." Yeah. But you see that she comes home tired, and it's like, you know what?
Plans changed.
Plans change. You call your buddies up, I'm like, sorry, maybe you don't have to tell them why, I can't make it. Yep. And literally, you stay home, you may do nothing but literally sit with her on the couch, hug her, and literally just talk. Or maybe not even talk. Literally spend the evening in quiet, maybe watch a movie or something. But that is being a man. Like, it's even in the small. Right. I mean, okay, I'm speaking as like I know, and I'm not married or anything like that. But even in the smallest areas, and like even for me now, I can do this with just the girls around me, or even my friends around me. Just even in the smallest areas, it's just like another friend that's struggling or something. Like, totally. I went through situations like I was struggling, and it was amazing where you or other people that are just like, no, I'm good. Like, no, let's talk. Like maybe truly you didn't have time, or maybe I know like my cousin maybe didn't technically have time, but he had time. Yep. He made that sacrifice and like, yes, I have other things, but no, you're more important in this situation. I'm here for you. Yep. And that's part of being, I feel like, a man, like setting aside what we want to do. And maybe there's small things that like your friends that you maybe told them that you can make the golf, they may never know.
Yeah.
And your wife, or maybe your wife didn't even know that you had plans that you canceled, and she don't have to.
Yeah.
It's not for your pride of like, I did this for you.
Nope.
It's in the small areas of like, that's still being a man. God's seeing that.
And
that's what
that's another scenario of just like love is like doing something when you don't get something back. And so it's so true. But in the way, it's like there's sometimes I want it back.
Yeah.
And that's not true love. That's not the definition of love. And if that's my mindset, it's like I get this back, I get this back. Well, what a wimp.
Right.
Because you're never going to strive. You're never going to succeed. You're just going to be the spoiled. You're just going to get spoiled through everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like even for like getting to where you're called to be, when you are spoiled or where you get what you want, it's going to set you down lower.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're not going to achieve. Yeah. You can't achieve.
Without, yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. Whenever you, I mean, yeah. And that's why, I don't know. That's why I see, like, well, my parents, they've been a very, very good example of a beautiful relationship. But, like, that's whenever, like, I just, like, whenever the situation, even from little up, even I can remember from a young age, the times, like, I would watch my parents or something, and, like, I would just kind of, like, that's what I want. That's what I want to be even as a kid.
Yeah.
Was when like dad would do something that was like I can just little things that mom was gone. She might figure out later. She might not. But he did for her, and he kind of mentioned or something to me, kind of like it's like yes, this like kind of show me like this is part of being like a dad, being a man, or like we had something planned or something. And he'd be like, no, we're just gonna stay back because like mom's struggling or something, and. That's where I'm like, that's cool. Like, that's as much as like,
awesome.
Maybe we're going to go on a fishing trip or something. Maybe I'm bummed. At the same time, like, that was what was cool to me. Like, that's awesome.
Because he's watching out for her. And another way for protecting.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's why I feel like I set, like, me as possibly a future father is, like, even, like, in the smallest areas, or even I think it's important teaching younger people through your mistakes, like even as a dad, like maybe you just literally did something to your wife that tore her apart. It was in a few words, but maybe your son saw that or whatever. That's the perfect example of like, I failed as a dad, and you can see it, and I'm showing you like this is, but also I'm gonna try to fix as best as possible, and ask for her forgiveness. Like, yes, no, maybe I don't want to, or maybe it's a situation literally you were right and she's wrong.
Yep.
But still coming out, I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like,
and owning up for your mistake, true.
Yeah. Right. And, like coming at it, I think, and it's so hard for guys, but coming at it with like take away self. Because it's like our ego and our pride is so hard to tear down, and it's so easy to be blown up so fast. But it's like I feel like that's where truly, like that's cool, guys, when we can tear that down and like, okay, I don't care what this portrays of me or anything like that. All I care about is what I'm doing in this situation. Yeah. For others, for whatever you're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I was looking up a statistic for the younger generation that's coming up. And did you know that 1.1 million children today have fathers that are in prison?
1.1
million. That's insane.
Just fatherless.
Yeah.
I mean, in a way.
But it's like they'll go to school and they'll try to figure out who they're supposed to be there. They're not going to get it because guess what? Their friends trying to look at that, trying to look for the same thing too. Yeah. And I feel like for them, they'll probably go ahead and Google it, and they're just like, oh, I want to be the macho guy on the Google whatever. But it's like they don't know. And it's like even in churches, I feel like it's like, you know, the phrase, go be a man about it. Well, what does that mean? Go be a man and do it. Does that mean just be strong and just witty and take the stupid action of doing it? No. Right. It just means just owning up for, you know what, I was wrong. I just need to do it. And protect the others that it could be in that scenario. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Definitely makes sense. Yeah. So okay.
You have a question?
Yeah. So coming from I'm 21.
Mm-hmm. All the wisdom.
Single. Like what are practical ways for me to improve? I mean, obviously I'm constantly working in my life.
Mm-hmm.
God's constantly showing areas, and that's where an area like something that's like I'm constantly praying, like God, show me, please. Yeah. Like as hard as it is, He did.
Yeah.
He did in a really hard way, but like sometimes it's hard. But like show me, like I'm praying that, but like what's the areas that I could improve? Like maybe not me specifically, but like
me. Get haircut quicker.
You see something? What?
Get a haircut quicker.
Yes, a mistake in my life. Don't let your hair grow out for 7 months. No. Well, maybe that is something that masculinity isn't in looks, but
no,
but like.
Except if you have a man bun. Yikes! If you had a man bun, and you said you were pretty masculine. It'd be a little rough
when you start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, which side thought? But I was gonna say real fast with the men in prison. It just some of those facts. Well, for one, it shows another generation's issues because they're in prison, and we have so many people in prison nowadays, and it's like
it just goes down. It just goes down.
Where's their fathers teaching them?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could have been lack of maybe their fathers were out of prison, but it was a lack of teaching puts them in prison, which now they can't teach their sons. Maybe they'd like to. They made some mistakes, but now they can't because they're in prison, which now also explains why we have furries or like transgender or like who am I? Am I a man or a woman? Well, when your dad's not there, like.
You don't know.
You don't even know what a man's supposed to look like hardly. And so it's like, I want to be a woman.
Because there's no role model to look up to. And
so to me, it's like, well, cha-ching, that makes more sense. I mean, that's why we need men out here. Like, more than ever. But, but no, I guess get back to what I was saying. Like, what's practical ways that like I can improve?
For like you yourself? Or
like, I want to be more of a man. Like, what's areas, I guess, seeking, I don't know, opportunities for just growth and obviously pursuing Christ is number one, and He will give you opportunities.
Yeah. I know for one thing, for number one thing, if you want to grow, you need to first accept that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because you can't grow and still accept that you do everything right.
Yeah.
That you just can't grow through that. I mean, I don't really know for scenarios for you, but like I feel like if we just keep raising the bar, how can I do this better than what I did yesterday? How can I achieve this to a better idea and standard than what I view it now? Or how my friend views it. How can I view something better, and then maybe I can help him get that same concept.
Right. Yeah. I would definitely. I would agree because, like, obviously, you always have multiple areas where you can improve in masculinity and areas of growth, but like it's a little more like it's a little bit different for you currently because you have a very practical way to live out your masculinity in a way. And areas, it's very, because you're dating. Like, I have someone to protect.
Right.
I have someone, and Lord willing, eventually you're thinking of a marriage. And it's like, well, then if in that, I have something, like, if this is where God takes us, I have someone that's like, that it is relying on me. And eventually, maybe Lord willing, if that's what God has for you, you have kids. And then I was like, okay, now I'm raising another generation. So, like, you have a lot of thoughts, and I do too, even for the future. Like, okay, but you have, like, more of a practical area, or even fathers who are already married that has a wife, or already have kids. It's like, you have a very practical way.
Right.
Just, like, live this out. But there are a lot of young people out there that aren't married. There's me, there's Banks, your other brother. Like,
they still need to be that man.
Like, we just as much as ever, it's important for us. It's not just because we don't have that person necessarily now that we're protecting necessarily. But in one sense, like, I know my parents taught me, which I would encourage as much as I can, is like, you have your sister, or those that do have sisters. That is a very practical way.
Right.
Even your mom, in a way, treat her like you would a dating girl. Like, open the door for her. Even like, I remember kind of like some little comments, some like Dad and Jaden would be away from my mom, and I'm like, now you're the man of the house, you're gonna protect us. And like maybe I was 6, like no, I wasn't going to protect them, but in a way in my mind I'm like, yeah, I am. And I remember processing the fact, I'm like, if a guy came to the door, how would I do this? Like would I tell mom and dad go to the basement, or my mom and like my sister go in the basement? Like I remember I was so young, and like looking back, my mom would send us all to the basement and take care of it or whatever.
Right.
But like in my mind, I was trying to process through, which was good. But like you always have that. But like treat your mom how you can, treat your sisters. But like at the same time, like obviously search the Bible. God, work on your loving others, work on your kindness, work on just literally those attributes. But every area in life, like literally, even as Christ was angered in a way because of he saw wrong, like it's okay to be angry in certain situations, but seek where can I be passionate about something so much that I could actually have righteous anger?
Right.
Build those areas, because there is a place for a man to actually stand up, maybe be frustrated because he sees something wrong, mistreatment of someone, like abuse or something, and it's like, no, I am going to tear into the situation because that is wrong.
Right.
But like this is the pivotal years, even though you may not have that special someone like you do have currently, but like it's just as important for me now as it is for you.
Yep.
These are pivotal building. So like I guess speaking to those out there that may don't currently have a relationship or something, for one, like dig in the scriptures. Start becoming that man. Just because you don't have to wait till you're in a relationship to become that man. Become that man now. Yeah. Your future wife's gonna be all the more thankful.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know with that.
And you'll be more purposeful in living that.
Yeah.
If you start now, then you start then.
Yeah. The longer you do it, and it'll become easier, become a lot more natural.
Yep.
Just to like not just you don't think twice and you open the door for her.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I can tell you what, the more amazed she'll be.
Yeah.
And the amazement or the compliments, and then, but then that'll drive you to proceed even higher. It's like the compliments you'll get, you'll be like, man,
is when
I need to do this better, or
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where like I guess I'll bring it kind of back around the fact of like, it is so important, like we were saying, for girls to call guys out. Do realize it is it can be tough on a guy. I mean, just on a guy's ego, which is good for him.
Yep.
Which is good for him.
Very good.
It can be tough, but don't let that prevent you. That is so important. That's what I think currently I'm really passionate about, and maybe I'm speaking even for younger people or even other guys in my age where like they're maybe screaming right now, like, no, don't do that. That's horrible. I don't want someone to call me out. They need called out. Yep. So if they're screaming that, even as much as like they don't, as hard as it is, don't be afraid to call a guy higher, even if you're just literally a friend. For a friend, and you see something like there are places in life where maybe you should just talk to one of their other guy friends and have them. But in certain situations where it's practical, or especially if you feel like they're very open about it, and like wanting advice or something, call them out. Like literally, especially that's why I'm using a relationship for example. If they're coming and literally he's asking you to date and you tell him no. Well, in one way, he's willing to date you. He's willing to share obviously very personal feelings. So in a way, he's asking you to call him out. I mean, he's giving you the opportunity to get in a relationship with him, which is very personal. So if you're going to deny it, then you have full opportunity to be like, buddy, you need to grow up. And as hard as that may be, that is important.
And I do got to add, if you are in a relationship and there's no calling each other out, I feel like plan that out carefully to where she won't be hurt by it when you do call her out.
Right.
And I would also say try to start, use your best judgment and everything, but just if you've been dating for a year and no one's called each other out, I would just maybe say, let's start doing that. Even if you have ideas in your mind, you're like, man, she needs that, but you don't want to say it yet. I think there's a way it's like, okay, step up to be a man and just say, hey, there's this one area. Because I feel like there's the passivity again. It's just like he'll just sit back and relax and let the world fly by.
Right.
And to where it's like, you know what? People can be strengthened through what I can do and tell them what they are missing in life.
Right.
And I feel like the world would be way better if that was that way. It's just like, you're missing this in life. Let's try to do this. And I feel like it can always go in through one year and out the other. But it's like, you know what? That's kind of on you, bro, because he's not actively listening, or maybe he's sidetracked because he's gaming and doing all this other things, and he's wanting to get to that. But yet, his motives and his actions for his life need to be called out because clearly he's not living it.
Yeah.
And
no, exactly. Another thing I'll say is, and I don't, because I want to be careful because I know it's easy, and I've even when I was younger, there are a lot of good books. I'm just looking at my books above. Like, there are so many good books that literally talk about masculinity. I know it is easy to sometimes read a book that's like I would 100% recommend it, but it is easy to look at it sometimes and feel like that's impossible. And so that's why I want to be very careful and encouraging. Then like, it may feel impossible. It may almost feel impossible at times. And just like, there's so much. And like, some of this is so hard. I guess what I want to say is like, we're guys, we're human. We make mistakes. You're going to fail. And like, that sounds horrible, but like, sooner or later, you're going to fail.
Yep.
I have failed. I'm the first one I admit. I failed in a relationship. I failed in friendships, other friendships. I failed in my personal spiritual walk. Like, I failed in many ways. You will. I said what's so big and important. I even went on a church trip, which spoke to me so much, which they highlighted. It was like, one of the kind of sayings was like, don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah.
Like, and one of the things they told us is like, we want you to fail big.
Yep.
Because like, you're going to fail on this trip sometime or another. You're going to fail on this trip. They told us like kill ahead of time. They're like, when you fail, I want to see you just smash it. Like, in a way, they'll kind of like, we kind of laughed about it, but they're like I'm going to be excited when I come back and hear that like they use the example of like, okay, like we had to share a testimony. They were like, there's once like a couple times I had to speak in a way a small message through a translator, and I was like, at that point, which is still big to me now, but still for them it felt impossible. And they're saying like it may completely fall to pieces. You and your translator may get mixed up. You may lose your thought, but like I want you to be able to like you were going full thrust into. You had all these thoughts. You jumbled them up. I'm like, I'm sorry guys. Like I literally lost it all. Maybe you had to sit down and it was super embarrassing. But basically our leader was saying it's like I'm gonna be cheering you on, clapping like yes, that's my charge guy. Because he gave it his all.
Yep.
Instead of you come up there and just kind of nervous and you kind of get one or two thoughts out, and maybe that's all you had prepared, but because you were like, at least I have a small amount of thoughts, and like, at least it didn't look like I just completely failed at like, no, I want you guys to fail big. And so as much as I can, like, don't be afraid. You're going to fail. You're going in a relationship, even asking her, talking to her, or maybe it is like the thought of like, I don't know if I want to talk about this in our relationship, but you do finally open up to her and she's kind of like, I'm not maybe ready to talk about this yet. Maybe that's embarrassing, but in the long run, that's going to be better to at least have talked about it. And maybe you guys can be like, okay, well, maybe we'll wait a couple more months. But now at least you know what you're heading toward. And in a way, it may look like a form of failure, but that was success in a way. Or maybe it's true failure that you literally did something that hurt your girlfriend or your brother or whatever. Maybe you did something that hurt. But like, at least you tried. At least you attempted it, and then you're gonna learn from that. And next time maybe you'll fail a second time or a third time, but eventually you're going to succeed. And the bigger you fail, the more you learn from it, and at least the more you tried. And in a way, especially like I know, at least from my situation where I see people who have tried and failed, never really is my thought. Like it's always when I'm up there, it's like. I know this is what they're thinking. But when I'm the one actually watching it, I'm never really like, I'm glad that I'm not. I mean, in a way, maybe I'm like, that kind of seems embarrassing. But like, I'm never like that guy that like, oh, he looks stupid because he tried so hard and then it just made it even bigger. If anything, I'm like, well, I'm kind of like, there's a small, like, my flesh kind of is like, oh, I'm glad I'm not up there. But there's a small part of me, I'm like, I wish I was him to have the courage to literally go for it and full send it. Like, ultimately, it's like, that's cool.
Yeah. And another thing I was thinking about is when you are like that, be that now, because to be honest, girls like guys who are risk takers because of that reason. Is we just go for it. And then take it in the ideas like please don't admit that you're wrong either. You got to admit that you're wrong.
Yeah.
And even if you're a full sin type of guy, whatever, because like when times like that, that's where it'll be like proving and even encouraging for other people to see. But like also it could be a vulnerability, like, you know what, I really can look up to this one guy, even though he has mistakes. Yeah, I can like, man, I have mistakes too, but I'm glad that he has something that I can learn through, and others can learn through my mistakes as well.
Yeah.
And
right, be willing to share
totally
your mistakes. Like
totally
something that I've really worked on. It's like I made this mistake, and it's gonna be all the more mistake if literally I just made it and I never talk about it again.
Right.
But it's like when you can, it's hard. It's not necessarily easy, but when you can actually be like, hey guys, this is where I struggled, and especially guys to guys, it's like, I understand what you did. I'm trying to prevent you from making the same mistake.
Yep.
Like, try to share what you can. And sometimes it's hard. I know even for me, like, I said this before in the podcast, but I'm speaking from a learner position. Like, I'm still learning.
Yep.
Like, because
we're all learning
some major mistakes, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what does that look like. Like, that could be another whole podcast. Like, what does that look like to even, how do I share through my mistakes? But but do what you can, do your best, and it's going to be a learning process. Like,
yeah, totally.
There's so much even more to this whole topic that we're not talking about. Like, it's quite a topic.
It's a good topic. It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know, but it is exciting, and I like, that's why I was so excited to talk about it, because I'm so passionate about it, because it's like we need more men. That's
totally.
why the title of that book is just so important. It's like the men we need, because I feel like there's so few of them nowadays.
Yeah.
So.
And then the ones that are, boy, howdy, do people like to look up to them. And
like, those are the people that I set my sights on. Like, man,
yeah,
that's what I want.
That's what I want.
Right. That's just cool. So I just always watch Cade and just like,
no, whatever.
How can it be like him?
No. I don't have everything perfect.
Yeah, I'll put his email, his phone number, his address in the bio. Everybody, you can call Cade if you have a question.
No.
I know we're all learning and stuff, but
yep.
It is fun though, and that's why I would say, even as far as the whole thought of surrounding yourselves with good friends, like, that's one of the things, like, Cade, like, I will, like, that has blessed me, is like the areas of life that's like, okay, I know you have areas where you've learned from, and you had these things you shared that's like, man, I'm still working through this, like, I need to do better in this area or something.
Yep.
Like, we all do, but also just little things, like, is like where friends come around, like, where some hard areas in my life that I was struggling, and like, you jumped in there, and so like, not even like, I've it's been a blessing to even watch how you treated your girlfriend Caitlin in certain areas, but like, even through your friendships, like, it is a blessing where,
well, thank you.
Like, I've tried to be a friend to you, but also receiving that, and like, surrounding yourselves with friends, masculine friends in a way, that are striving for that. Like, it is so important, and it's going to be a blessing in the long run of like, going that distance. You're going to receive blessings, even in your relationship. Going that distance, God's going to bless that.
Yep.
You're going to get blessings from it. And like, and that's what I'm guessing I'm just saying, is from friendship. Like, it's been a blessing to me where you've actually did things, or you've even said certain things in like my past relationship areas, like, well, what about this? And it's like, maybe in the moment, it's like, ooh, ouch, you pointed to something that maybe I did do wrong. But in the long run, it's been a blessing to me. I'm like, yeah, that is something. I'm glad you pointed that. Now that made me think of an area where I was definitely not processing or something. And so it goes both ways. And so I don't know. Maybe it's hard in the moment, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it can be hard in the moment, but I feel like, just like how people just process over and over, it's like, oh, he was right, and then the respect for that person just kind of goes up for you in your life. Just like, maybe I should just learn from him a little bit more, or something like that.
Yeah, right. And I know where it might be even hard in the moment to like, I really don't want to call Preston now, or like maybe me, I'm like, I don't really want to call Cade out, but like, really where it normally actually ends up is like, if anything, in the long run, I would respect you more for it, because I'm like, he actually cared enough for me, and he thinks our relationship is solid enough that he's willing to call me out in an area, or like question that area. Like, I know for me, a lot of times I'm like, we're friends, I don't really want to call him out, because like, man, that might kind of hurt our friendship.
Yeah.
But really, in the long run, I mean, maybe in the moment it's kind of like, ouch, Cade.
Yeah.
But on the long run, we'll probably be closer through that because,
right.
like, you're willing to actually be vulnerable in front of me, or like risk this. But ultimately, like, wow, he actually cared enough to point something out in my life or whatever. But so.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you have really anything else. I know there's a lot to it.
There's a lot, but I kind of shared what I had and.
Perfect. Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, thank you for coming on. This has been a blast.
Oh yeah, it was great to study, but actually, did you know through studying it all, I learned something new?
What?
Did you know that when the whole time Adam and Eve were eating of the fruit, after all that and they were out of the garden, when Adam named her Eve?
That's when he named her Eve?
Yeah. Yeah.
I did not know that, seriously.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until I read it. I was like, what? And so I thought
that is interesting.
I know, because I feel like when it was Eve means mother of all.
Yeah.
And so like when he now when the ground was cursed and she had pain and childbearing and how they had to work hard, I feel like that's when he had to give her name of mother of all.
Mother of all.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Yeah, I've not thought about that.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But
yeah. Well, do you have a?
I do have a verse
to end this out with.
I do have a verse. It is Proverbs 17. 27:17. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And that goes a long way with even the countenance of men and how they can sharpen each other. The vision seems more doable and achievable when you got someone cheering you on, keeping you accountable, and doing life and living life for the same purpose and goal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Totally.
Yeah. That's so important. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us, Cade.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.